How can I set New Year's resolutions when time is an illusion? That may seem like an impossible task. It did to me when I first started thinking about it, but I have a few things to say about it. Hey everyone, I'm Sonja and this is Holiness Connection. So, time being an illusion. You may have heard a little bit about this or things happening all at once. It's kind of in some pop culture movies and various things now, but it really has started with a modern physics concept and just the very, very, very basics of it. And maybe I can link a good article in the description box for you if you want to explore it further. Is that if we look at the universe four-dimensionally rather than three-dimensionally, then all the events that we feel like are happening in time are perceivable more spatially, and it's like they're happening all at once. So that's what I mean when I say time is an illusion. So, in that case, what does that mean for things like setting goals? It starts to get into all kinds of concepts like free will and things are happening all at once. Does that mean that they're already preset? And I'm not going to get into all of that in this particular video, but I do want to think of it, since I'm recording this getting close to New Year's, just thinking about New Year's resolutions in particular. Or we could think of it as goals more broadly, right? So, thinking about those setting goals, if I think of some important goals in particular, like, is it really about time as much, or is it about intention? I think we can pretty naturally go towards intention and seeing how that's important. And one thing I realized was, even if we experience all things at once, so this idea, that concept of time more as an illusion, if experience is instead perception and not some concrete boxable thing called time passing, then can't we just work with that? And I think we can. So, step one really is just to get clear on the importance of perception, because in this model of how we could view the universe, then from this other way of thinking, that time is more of an illusion or events are happening all at once, then isn't perception, our perception of what's happening and how we interact with it, in a way that is the reality, right? Or the most important thing. So, again, step one is to see that importance of perception from this new model of thinking about the universe. So, step two then is to use it as a way to feel empowered. Because, like I said at the beginning, almost one of the first thoughts then is like, oh, does that mean everything's destiny? If it already happened at once, do I have any, am I actually making a difference in it? I mean, it starts to really like play with our concepts of free will and how that works. But if our free will lives at this space of how we perceive and interact with what's happening, that actually sounds a lot more empowered to me in a lot of ways. Like our experience is paradoxically back in our hands, or rather in our way of being. So hopefully then we've gotten clear on the importance of perception, step one. Step two being to feel empowered by that. So what is step three? Step three is to use that feeling of empowerment to both go big and go small. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So what I mean by go big is to level up your intentions, level up those goals and intentions, level up those resolutions. So that would mean thinking more about how you want to feel and experience the events that feel like the passage of time. So in thinking about goals and resolutions, that would be at the forefront, is thinking about how you want to feel in your experience. So what do I mean by going small? Well, often when we're doing lists and goals, we break it down to steps, or we have very practical lists, that kind of thing. And I think there's a place for that here too. I mean, it's important to break down things we want to do anyway, right? We know from a psychology standpoint, because it's easier to get them done. And, if you're practical about them, you can find your way and actually do them. But sort of from this conceptual perspective, I see it more as the way that in setting and doing the goals, you're becoming present to the process. And that also includes, because of that practicality aspect, really being in the world, in your body. The physicality part can be part of that too. So again, that was step one, get clear on the importance of perception. If perception and the interaction with the events is what matters in this model where time's more of an illusion. Number two is to use that to feel empowered, because that actually feels like a part, like something that's part and parcel of who we are, right? And what we're doing, our own experience and perception of reality. And step two is to go big, level up those perceptions, because they can be mainly based around an intention about how you want to feel and interact with your experience. And still can be going small too, to get into those details of the process and being very present with them. So time as an illusion, time or events happening all at once. I mean, it is pretty mind-boggling, right? So I think you can take a moment, and I certainly do, to let your mind boggle over that. But then see if you can reconceptualize and feel into the meaning of what your experience actually is in this new way of thinking about things. Feel empowered because it's so close at hand. I mean, it is you. It's the way of being you're cultivating. And see that as the most profound, free will kind of goal or intention in the process of how it unfolds as you, whatever you want to call it, co create, live your life, experience it, interact with others, with the world, with spirit. It's in the minuscule, moment by moment way you want to feel and be in the process of the unfolding of what we've been calling time and interaction and maybe is there all at once. So hopefully that was helpful. I'd love to hear your perspective on time being an illusion or everything happening all at once. And if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.